So there are many signs of spring out and about right now. As you can see, there's green in the vegetation. There are these leaves here that are coming up. These are hosta. They come up and they unfurl. One of the things I want to show you in this video are a number of signs of spring, from the growth of plants to signs of animals active in the woods. So the next few moments are going to be images of those things. So enjoy. Okay, kids, the other thing I want to do is I want us to see how slowly and quickly things grow in the spring. So I'm going to have Mr. Book to come in a close-up on the bud of this tree. I think this tree is a sassafras, but I'm not sure. You see the little pink bud at the end? They're starting to come out. You can see them on most trees now. So you can see it's pink. So when you look at the trees, see at the very tips of the trees. Usually it starts with a different kind of coloring like this, the red, and it's a little softer. If you touch it, it's just a slight bit softer. We'll watch that grow into a leaf. Okay. So here's another example of a bud. This is an ornamental plant. It's not an indigenous plant in Michigan. It's called a rhododendron, and you can see it has this huge bud. We'll watch this, and probably within a month, 6 weeks times, you'll see a beautiful red flower come from that bud. You can see it looks pretty healthy, nice green leaves. When we looked at the buds on my house and the plants on my house, we looked at the rhododendron, and here it is now. The day we looked at it was April 1st. That's about 6 weeks, maybe 7 weeks ago. And you can see, in reality, the bud hasn't changed too much. It's gotten bigger, but you don't see any of the flowers coming out. My sense is we probably have another 3 or even 4 weeks before that will happen. Although, with things warming up, it will happen more quickly. But the other thing I showed you was the tree and the buds on the tips of the branches of the tree. So let's take a look at that one now. Here's the tree. You can see, look at there are leaves coming out on this tree. I think this is a maple, or an oak. We'll see how those leaves grow. But come in close to it and you can see this is where that tip was that we looked at. You can see all these buds. You see these buds have grown stems and into leaves. That also is from April 1st, same time as the rhododendron. You can see how much more growth and development has happened with this tree than the rhododendron. Going back to the video I did on trees, remember the deciduous trees, this is a deciduous tree, keeps their leaves only for the summer. It has to go through all that photosynthesis in the summer, while the conifers or the needle trees keep it year-round. Rhododendrons keep their leaves year-round too. So maybe that is one of the reasons why it's been delayed a bit in its growth. Hey kids, this is what I found on my dog walk this morning. They're feathers. See? Feathers. And if you look down here, Todd, focus in. You can see here they are in the ground. Right here. There's one right here. I'm trying to figure out. Look at this beautiful one. My hunch is something killed something. What do you think it is? Bright orange like that. I don't think it's a baby because no babies are born yet, I don't think. So what would be in the woods that has bright orange? See if you can figure out what species that is. I'll check you guys on it later. While this may look like a place where someone's just kicked away dead grass and leaves, in reality, it's a sign of spring. There are creatures coming up out of the dirt under these dead fall leaves, and wild turkeys or grouse dig these holes looking for food. After Blue put his stick down, he decided to go swimming in the swamp. And so you can see he's all dirty all the way down. See, look at his little dirt. But this is a different kind of dirt. It's really organic matter that is decomposing, so he smells awful. So this is when the ponds unfreeze and thaw, and you go in. Oh God, go on, that's enough. Just focus on me. When you go into the pond, the muck is all full of oxygen and organic material, and it all comes bubbling up. Sometimes when you go past a pond in the spring, you can literally see little air bubbles, and that's the oxygen that has been kept in that cold water, and as the water heats up, it comes up. So don't let your dogs go swimming in muck. It stinks. Over, out. Here is a representation of a lake in the different seasons. I want you to focus on the bottom two. The bottom right is winter. And you can see ice is at the surface of the lake, and it's 0 degrees, near 0 degrees near the surface. That's pretty darn cold. Below it, though, you can see the water is slightly warmer, 4 degrees, because water at 4 degrees centigrade is actually more dense or heavier than water at 0 degrees. So in the 4 degrees centigrade, the water is heavier, flows to the bottom. During the winter, plants are creating oxygen for a short period of time because very little photosynthesis can happen. However, fish are living deep down in the water where it's warmer and are utilizing the oxygen. By the time spring comes, that oxygen is almost gone. The warming of the surface allows water from the bottom to move up with the heat. The oxygen that's been kept on the very bottom of the water starts to turn over. The wind starts to bring oxygen in. And in this turnover, a lot of the muck of the bottom and some of the oxygen that has been kept within the soil down there literally turns over. This is a very active time in a pond, and it's the time that Blue chose to go in and get all that mucky bottom junk all over him. But lucky for Blue, he got a bath, and as you can see, now Blue, after a great run in the woods and swim in the dirty pond in springtime, can lay on the sofa and take a very relaxed nap.